I asked one very simple, basic question. Can we see the invoices before we pay the bills? That was it. But see, that was not a question that people would normally ask. Can we see the invoices before we pay the bills? What is Attorney Clark doing? What is Alderman Clark doing? What is he talking about? Can we see the invoices before we pay the bills? Well, you know, I pay my ComEd bill. If I pay the ComEd bill, I want to see the bill before I pay it. You pay the water bill, you want to see the bill before you pay it. Using your car note, house note, whatever it is, you want to see the bill before you pay it. Well, now we're talking about spending millions and millions of dollars. Can we see the bill before we pay it? I have yet, in the past 2 years, to see a single bill. A single invoice. I have not seen an invoice yet. Wow. And I've been an alderman for 2 years now.
The most recent audit was in 2007. So we hadn't even had an audit in the city since 2007. Since then, they've come up to date with the audit. And they will boast that we're current with our audit, we're current with our audit. But when you look at the audits, they have all these crazy recommendations that it's just, I'm embarrassed really for our city, you know, but that's why I got involved to try to help turn this around.
Right.
You know, but I wish it was some way that he would be out of office before this 2 years over. I would hate to see the city have to go through all that we will have to go through over the next 2 years with him being our leader.
So basically, Harvey, again, being the industrial city, you know, that's its history, is a main, or has been a main distribution point for Lake Michigan water via City of Chicago. And Harvey actually sells water to various surrounding communities. Well, during the Kellogg administration, the funds have been mishandled and used to pay salaries and all sorts of other things besides like paying the water bill, which is what they're supposed to be for. And so the city of Chicago sued Harvey, and now we have our water bills are dramatically higher because basically we have to pay because our mayor and his buddies stole money.
Right.
So that affects everybody. So we have some senior citizens, for instance, that they have to pick, do I want to pay my water bill this month or do I want to get medication? Because let's say their bill was like $30 a month, you know, and then it jumps up to $70, $100. Some people have water bills a few $100s a month. It's just crazy.
He is taking money from the water fund. We have a pumping station here in Harvey, so there are a few other communities that pay us for the water that we all get from Chicago. He's using that money for things other than paying Chicago for the water. We are in arrears for that, and this is after a settlement that was already made because we were not paying Chicago for the water that we drink.
Harvey is a city in financial crisis. We are $154 million in debt. And I can honestly say that as of this date, I still have really no idea how that happened. And it's not because I didn't go to school. I got plaques on the wall that show that I went. And I have transcripts that show that I was a pretty decent student. Okay? Engineering and law. So I can add. But the money doesn't seem to add up. So what happens at the end of the day, because of that particular challenge, it's difficult to provide people what they need. Now, or not overtax the people. To give you an example, our water situation with the city of Chicago. The city of Chicago provides water to the city of Harvey. Harvey in turn would sell a portion of that water to 5 other municipalities. The city of Harvey's residents would pay their water bill monthly. The other municipalities would pay their bills to the city of Harvey monthly. Harvey had a responsibility to remit those funds or a portion of those funds to the city of Chicago. However, for years, Harvey did not. to the tune of approximately $18 million. So while everyone was paying their bills, Harvey was not taking that money and using it to pay the city of Chicago. So the question becomes, what happened to that money? In addition to that, the mayor proposed to increase the water rates on the citizens of Harvey. The city council voted down the water increase, and the mayor decided, even though the city council voted down the increase, that he was going to increase the rates anyway. So now I have constituents who have water bills that have doubled, some have even tripled. They have no idea how their water is calculated. And one would think that after all of that, that the mayor and his administration would continue to pay the city of Chicago.
Right.
Because it had not paid the city of Chicago.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Oh, gosh.
The city of Chicago had to go back. First of all, initially, the city of Chicago had sued. And it was settled. The suit was settled for $18 million. It was actually originally $21 million, but the city of Chicago forgave $3 million in fines, fees, interest, and things of that nature, which brought it down to $18 million. Well, after the mayor raised the rates and still did not continue to pay the city of Chicago, even though he had raised the rates, so in essence, we were paying our bills twice. The bills we had already paid that wasn't paid to the city of Chicago, and the new bills. He still didn't pay the city of Chicago, and now the city of Harvey owes Chicago $26 million. But we still don't know what happened to that money. That's a problem.
It's not in any city funds, or
No.
it's, wow.
No. The city says that it's either broke or close to broke. So if it's broke or close to broke, and you've been collecting millions of dollars for years and years and years, well, what did you do with that money? Now, mind you, water money is supposed to go into a water fund. And from my understanding under state law, you cannot take the money from the water fund and use it for any other purpose other than water. So when citizens pay their money, that money is supposed to go into that fund to be used for the purposes of making sure that they have water.
Right.
That money was taken out of the water fund, which from my understanding is against state law, taken out of the water fund, transferred into the general fund, and from the general fund, it disappeared. We don't know where it went.
Wow.
So that's just one issue. We have what we call the botched hotel deal, where the city took out bonds to renovate a hotel on, I think it's 171st and Halsted here in Harvey. Now, I still have no clue why the city is in the hotel renovation business, but it took out a revenue bond. The city took out a revenue bond. They were supposed to renovate the hotel. The hotel was never renovated. Those bonds will cost the citizens of Harvey $20 million. Now, we don't know what happened to the money from the bonds. We do know that Mayor Kellogg signed a document saying that the work was done or completed on the hotel. And because the work was completed on the hotel, the monies should be released. And so the monies were released, but we don't know where that money went. So that's another thing that citizens of Harvey have to deal with and have to pay for. Mind you, if there was a hotel, I would even say, okay, well, you know, maybe there was some mistakes or something like that. We can clean those things up, but at least we got a hotel. We don't have a hotel. But we're $20 more million in the hole because of it, and no one knows where the money went. Okay, so it's those types of things. Recently, it was revealed that the city of Harvey had paid $19,000 in a lawsuit for the mayor's sister and a it was pertaining to a Mercedes-Benz that she had purchased but not paid for.
Wow.
Okay. And so that wasn't a city vehicle. His sister was not an employee of the city. But when she was sued, the city of Harvey was brought into the lawsuit, and it ended up that $19,000 of the taxpayers' dollars went to pay for the mayor's sister's Mercedes-Benz.
Wow.
I mean, I can go on and on and on.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you, so with something like that, is there something off the top of your head that would have benefited the city, that the money that went to the mayor's sister, that could have helped here within the city?
Well, yes. I mean, just for instance, just, what some would consider a nominal amount, $19,000. What could $19,000 have done? $19,000 could have hired another part-time employee to help to clean up some of the streets on the city. Could have helped to actually hire a Harvey resident to do so.
Right.
Because here, $19,000 is a nice piece of money. When you're in a city where the vast majority of your students qualify for free lunch, meaning that they are somewhere below the poverty line, and $19,000 means a lot. So it definitely could have done that just for specifically for an individual, but also that would have helped to make the city look better.
Right.
And that's just $19,000. We're not going into $154 million.
What's the most criminal is the fact that our state and federal authorities are not stepping in.
Right.
Because there's this attitude of sort of like, oh, well, you guys voted for him. Well, when you have a guy who's been in office since '03 and has a history of intimidating people and spreading lies and misinformation and all this, I mean, you can't just blame that on the people, because the actual democratic system is flawed. It's not working right.